Good morning. So it's Monday again, and I am just barely recovered from the wedding I attended this weekend. Best man and my first wedding, so it was 2 for 2 in my firsts overall. And before you ask, yes, I didn't make it, like I semi made a fool of myself, had a little bit too much to drink, danced a little bit too wildly, spoke a little bit too loudly. It was okay because I completely nailed the ceremony. All I had to do was to stand at the podium and sweat like a pig without moving whatsoever, and I got that down. Anywho, let's talk about Swift, and not Taylor Swift. I want to talk about the programming language, and I have a few things to say about this wonderful language. Now, I am going to be completely honest with you and say that I do not like Objective-C. I think it is a horrible language, and I think that the faster we can go over to using Swift as the only language for iOS development, the happier I will be. Now, there is a little bit of a lag in the language development. Apple is world famous for how good they are at design and product management and all that stuff. And I mean, their products are very high quality. I mean, I use a Mac myself, and I don't think anybody's going to fight me on that, on Apple being like the best design company in the IT world. However, that is, in my opinion, not the case for Swift. The language is amazing. I have no objections to the language. I mean, I love the Swift language. I love their named variables, input parameters. I love that they have closures. I love most of it. And it's this really, I don't know, it's something that, there are these subtle things. That's the best way I can describe it. There are very subtle, small things that really makes the language stand out. And named variables is just one. Their optionals are amazing, like the syntax. The if-let unwrapping is great. They have static types, of course, which is such a nice thing to work with. And you have Lambda for support and all of that good stuff. It's actually, this is kind of unfair. I've been very excited about Kotlin for us Java and Android developers. And the main reason I'm actually excited about that is because it's so close to Swift. It feels like they've taken so many of the amazing ideas that the Swift is bringing to the table and put that into a Java-based system. And that makes me even more excited because now you have the option of running both these working these wonderful languages that are borrowing the same concepts from each other. And I think that's such a nice thing. It's so great. So I highly recommend Swift. If there's any type of downside to the language syntax, it's very trivial. Really small things such as like the escaping annotations and a few. It's such small things. It's almost not worth mentioning. However, it's not all good. I still think that Xcode has a little while before it. There's a bit to in terms of package management and a few other things that I would like to move ahead on. And of course, it would be great if Swift is going to the server now, which also I think is a cool idea. I think it's a great idea. I actually argue that if there is a true today type of competitor to the mainstream programming languages mainstream corporate languages such as C# and Java, I think it's Swift. I honestly believe that Swift, and then by extension Kotlin, are languages that are they have everything pretty much that these corporate languages have, and they also have like this extra stuff on top that really stands out and makes the development experience such a nice experience. And really, I think that if it wasn't for the fact that Swift has specific hardware requirements and stuff like that, I would go as far as to say I wouldn't see any reason to start any fresh new projects today in Java or C#, apart maybe if you're in need of, I don't know, their infrastructure or like libraries, or like if there's anything specific that you like, that, because I mean Swift is a fairly young language. They don't have all of the legacy and like massive libraries that these other languages have, but it is a great language to work in, and I very much encourage you to try it out. And to Apple and so forth, I mean, the Swift team, you're doing an amazing job, guys. It's a really great language. Please catch up with Xcode and like start looking into that type of thing, because that's the only thing that I think right now that needs a little bit of improvement. Oh, and make a nice HTTP client API as well, because nobody has that in any compiled language pretty much.